Leo Tolstoy provides a window into the theological life committed to perfect happiness and the theological virtues. Tolstoy also offers existentialist ideas. Let's hear some statements of existentialism and also a definition of existentialism. And let's review the existentialism in chapter 24 of On Life. And finally, I'll introduce you to our next author after Thanksgiving, Martin Heidegger, who's also an existentialist. First, statements of existentialism. The human is 100% free. My life is my choices. The only meaning of a human life is what I will for my life. There is no universal meaning or fulfillment of a human life. There's no secure, good life, according to existentialism. Reality is absurd. There's no inherent order or organization of reality. There's no secure reality, claim some existentialists. Either we conceal the absurdity of life and reality from ourselves, or we bravely stand in this absurdity. The latter, claim the existentialists, is authentic human existence. Let's hear now a definition of existentialism. It is a 19th, 20th century philosophy objecting to traditional concepts and many ordinary assumptions, and emphasizing human freedom, along with intense experiences like anxiety, despair, and, in the case of Tolstoy, true love. Henry Thoreau, in Chapter 2 of Walden, provides some existentialist statements. In Chapter 2, Thoreau states that he doesn't want to live what isn't life, and his goal is to discover what life is truly like. Martin Luther King refers to existentialism in his sermons. In the 20th century, some philosophers came to the conclusion that life is meaningless. There's no purpose or good life. Well, those are the existentialist philosophers. Let's now review in chapter 24 some existentialist ideas. First, the very use of the term existence is an existentialist trademark. On the bottom of page 134, Tolstoy writes, "He devotes himself, his whole existence, to whatever love is available to him and stands before him. Only this love gives full satisfaction to the reasonable nature of man." Existence is, of course, a more stark and abstract term for what we would ordinarily call human life. Some existentialists may prefer the term existence because it frees us from our assumptions about human life. In chapter 24 and throughout On Life, Tolstoy uses life and existence interchangeably. Our next author, Heidegger, also uses the term existence. Tolstoy speaks the language of existentialism when he asserts that human life pursued from the self-centered perspective is contradictory, that happiness is impossible. Of course, Tolstoy thinks that this contradiction is overcome or solved by the renunciation of the self-centered perspective. And finally, the existentialists are known for emphasizing the importance of intense experiences like anxiety, anxiety about death, and anxiety about the absurdity of reality. For the existentialists, intense experiences are one of the ways in which we learn truths. For Tolstoy, we have the intense experience of recognizing the impossibility of happiness from the self-centered standpoint. And in Tolstoy, there's also the conversion to true love, in which I now respect or have goodwill for all persons. This intense experience for Tolstoy is an important characteristic of all human life. There are two schools of existentialism, if that's a suitable term. One school of existentialism is known as the atheistic existentialists. The atheistic existentialists make no assumptions about a divine world or a life in the world to come. By contrast, there's a school of Christian existentialists, those who have faith in addition to existentialist insights. Tolstoy may belong to the Christian existentialists, and in the 19th century there's a second important Christian existentialist, Søren Kierkegaard, who was writing about at the same time and has some interesting things in common with Tolstoy, including the writing of novels. For after Thanksgiving, we're going to meet Martin Heidegger, also known as an existentialist. So when we discuss Martin Heidegger, I will review some of his important existentialist insights, and we will look at two documents. They will be digital documents. The first one is titled, "Why Do I Stay in the Provinces?" A short article published in 1933. And the second is a speech titled Memorial Address, which was given in 1955. In these two documents, Martin Heidegger will argue for the importance of the homeland for human life. I hope that you have a wonderful and restful Thanksgiving holiday.